What is efficiency? When we look at efficiency, how do we grow the outputs of our business with fewer inputs, whether that's cost, labor, time, effort? We want to turn the interest into appointments and turn those appointments into signed work. And then that signed work is going to turn into cash. And if we can do this faster than our competition, our business is going to be more valuable than the people you're competing against in your market. And so 3 levers that I think we should all look at when trying to think about how we can operate a business better. We want to look at how we can reduce our customer acquisition costs. And if you're spending less than your competition to acquire those customers, your business will be more valuable to a private equity group that's looking to purchase it, because you have the ability to create demand for your business in a way that is less expensive than your competition. We can also look, how can we boost our revenue and our profit per employee? If you have a team that your employees are doing $200,000 per employee, and you also have another team that is doing $500,000 per employee, if the other metrics are going to be the same, your business is going to be more valuable to somebody that is looking to purchase it from you because of that efficiency. I'm not the right person to talk about this. I'm not the PE guy, but the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate, it's a little bit too much for most roofers. Think of it this way. If you can grow your business consistently, you will do this in a way that when your business is growing, as you grow, if that rate at which you grow is not consistent, this can raise some questions. And so if we can build a foundation that allows us to look long term and figure out what we can do to keep moving the needle forward and not having years where we go from a 100% growth rate and then drop to a 10% growth rate the next year. So why should you listen to me? Well, I've had almost 30 years in the industry in home service. I started out as a paper boy and I grew into a paper man. I delivered over 100,000 newspapers on my bike. And I'd been in the home of so many people, seeing what a customer experience looks like from a young age. And I followed the path that everybody tells you to do: go to school, go to college, get a job. Someday maybe you can retire. And I got involved with some electrical contractors where they were teaching them how to switch from time and material pricing over to flat rate pricing, because what customers want in a purchase when they're working with your business, they don't want uncertainty. And if you can show somebody right at the beginning, here's what it's going to cost, here's what it's going to be, you're buying trust with your homeowners. And I realized that my father-in-law, who was running a roofing business, it seemed very similar to these electrical contractors. And I said, you know what? I'm done with corporate America. I'm going to go into the roofing business. So I joined him, and in 8 years, we grew it from $1 million to just under $5 million. But the key thing here is that we had one outside salesperson. And with one outside rep, we were able to sell 225 roofs a year with a speed and a process that was really designed around me and trying to get time back for myself. But we built it around a client and what they expect on a journey. And it saved me time, but it's also, how can I deliver a process of what a client wants from me? And I was an early adopter of a lot of different technologies that you see out on the floor: Roofle, Company Cam, Job Nimbus, ProLine. It's like I've used a lot of them. And I now help a lot of contractors through a consulting business and SMA support to help implement these in their business. So one of the things people say, those that can't do, teach. And so I like this picture because this is one of the reasons why I left the roofing business. I think it's great. It's a Ford Mustang that the AI robot made for me, but that engine, the guy's putting the engine in the car. My engine, I was rebuilding an engine that became too powerful for the car that we were able to drive. And I realized that I can help other people put these engines in their cars that have that frame that can carry the horsepower that we can put, and it's not going to break the vehicle. And that's what was happening in our business. Is the engine that we were putting in is just a little bit too big for the car. And so I started talking to some others in the industry, much bigger companies than I was involved with. And what I realized is the process that we had was unique and different than most of the other large businesses that I speak to. I thought about why. Like, what is it that makes our process different, that I'm doing something different than the others and our business is more efficient? It's because we designed a process that it essentially is built by a dad to sell to a mom. So that's my wife. That's my 2 kids. I thought about when she goes to buy from a business, what does she want? And if we think about what most roofing contractors are giving today, it's not an experience that's based around the customer. It's based around us, the contractor, and what we want and what we feel is the right thing for a process. But we're not looking at, a majority of our customers today are female homeowners. They're female buyers. And what does she want when she goes through that journey to make a purchase? She wants a digital process that helps her save time, gives her clarity, and just gets her back to what she wants to focus on, which is not home improvement projects or listening to a contractor. And there's a book that I love and I recommend. It's called They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. And I started a journey with that book where it's essentially thinking about what are all the questions she's going to ask you in this journey that you know an answer to that you can give to her, before that journey takes place. And what buyers want today is they want a seller-free experience. Not that they don't, want a salesperson to come talk to them, but they want to be able to gather the information and then decide when it's time for them to make that purchase or make that decision. I'm going to do it when I'm ready. So educate and then let me come and start that process when I want it. Instead of just talking through of like all the things you need to be doing in the business, I figured it's easier if we frame this around a story and put this in the lens of what is Allie? What does she go through when she experiences a roof leak? And how can we design a process that's giving her what she wants? So late night, it's 10 o'clock. She notices a spot on the ceiling. It's like, uh-oh, what are we going to do? Where is she going to go? First thing she's going to do, she's going to go online. She's going to look. She doesn't want to call somebody. She doesn't want to text them, talk to somebody. She just wants to get the process started so the next morning she can start solving this problem. And when she's beginning the journey, the stuff that she would consider what makes this a successful project, a successful experience, she wants transparent pricing. She wants a process that matches what she wants. And then she also needs great communication and no headaches. And so what can we do in our business to start this process the way she wants? Anybody using Nextdoor, Facebook to get leads right now? Is anybody posting, using tools to bring that customer into your ecosystem, start that journey, and using a tool like Roof Quote Pro or Roofle where you can give her a price upfront and answer the number one question that she has, which is roughly, what's this going to cost me? And if you can then take that once she submits that online form, gets an instant roof quote, what can you do to start building some trust as well so that when she fills out that quote, what's the first thing you're going to say to her or show to her that allows you to be different? And so tools like Company Cam. Company Cam is a great example. If you have the Company Cam tool and you're not using the showcase, there's an ability to put pictures about the work that you do, the past jobs you've done, show your 5-star reviews. You should have stuff like a landing page that's going to allow them to see the work that you've done and also gives them a path so that when they are ready to take action, they know what they're going to get. And when you can set up that initial discovery, when she finds you and you write out the action, it's like, hey, I can give you a quote with nobody in your living room. You're doing exactly what she wants. I wanted to show an example of this, and this is something where when I was in the roofing industry, selling roofs, doing this, I generated tons of leads on Nextdoor and Facebook. And I basically would do this. I would talk to consumers on Nextdoor, people in our neighborhoods, and I would, give them an answer of like what could be going on. Hey, I've got a roof leak. Let me tell you that not only can we fix this, but we're a family roofing business. You can book online. You can talk to our virtual assistant, Miguel. He's in our office. He'll book that. And then also take a look at our past work so that you don't just have to listen to us say that we are good. You can see that we are good. And so I wanted to show this as an example of some things that if your business, if you're not doing something today to go out and look for clients without paying for them, you need to put something in your process, and you probably have tools in your existing stack that you can support to do this. If you start this journey for her and you can give her that price right away and start to help build her trust, she's Buddy the Elf. She's walking into your business this excited. And she's like, this is what I want. I don't want the roofer that's going to come in and talk to me for 2 hours. I want the roofer who's going to give me this information before he shows up, and then I can talk to him when I'm ready. And if we think about how most of us have approached customers, it's always, let me get on site, let me go talk to them. And we're not starting a process the way that she would want to be sold to. And everybody here has bought something on Amazon. Why do you buy it on Amazon, even though you could go to the store right down the street and pick it up? Because it's easier. I'm going to click a button, be done, move on to the next thing. And as much as we love roofing and we think it's great, and we want to talk about all the extended warranties and things of that nature, she doesn't care about it. What she wants is very specific, and it's not at all what we want to be talking about when we're going to talk to her. And so when we think about the next step of that journey, she's